And welcome to
the High as Fuck Podcast with you boys.
Matt's Weekly Review Jackson.
And your boy Jedi, his limited edition action figure, Jedi Joe motherfucking cool. And we are here with the weekly review and my part with Monday Night Raw. But before we get into that, we gotta send you down to Southwick Plaza Tobacco and Vape.
Yes, sir.
And Shopping Center Tobacco and Vape.
Yes, sir.
Candace and Dustin's pawn shop, I guess we said.
Yes, and Lady Luck down there on Riverside Drive's pawn shop. Definitely go check and give them some love. Tell them that we sent you. Say the High as Fuck Podcast sent you. And, maybe... you never know. So just try your luck. Go on down there. Try your luck at
places in Danville, Virginia.
Try your luck at Lady Luck's Pawn, Riverside, Danville, Virginia. Go on down there. They got good prices, reasonable prices on things. I'm trying to tell you. I've been in there. I've walked in there. I told the man that I'm going to be promoting you. I'm going to be talking about you. I'm going to tell you. Go down there. Tell them the podcast sent you. Tell them a podcast sent you. I don't give a track-clack-a-pooka. Do your thing. Let's let these people know that we have got an army. A Wrestling Matt and Joe Cool High as Fuck Podcast army. Like and subscribe. Notification bell as always, man.
After dinner. Nobody's going out for after dinner poops. I just fed them, so... nobody's going out.
It's the weekly review of Raw.
Weekly review.
We're going to keep this righty-tighty.
Life got in the way for a second. Sorry.
You are good in the hood. Brother man of the many moons. But we've got this weekly review thing that we have been dropping for 5 weeks straight since Christmas time. Since the Christmas week. And we're going to keep continually dropping these weekly. Sorry if it's not chopped up. Maybe we'll get to that point. But as of it stands right now, weekly reviews every Sunday. 11 a.m. in the morning is when they drop. So you've got from 11 to night to check one out or later or whenever.
Matt is late.
Huh? Or unless I'm late like I was that Monday. I spun it down on Monday. That was the last one.
Yep.
But it made it out there. We are also got motherfucking Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble coming up. We did the live prediction video.
We did do a live prediction.
We got some interaction, but then YouTube said we didn't get any interaction, so whatever.
It's ridiculous. I know damn well we did, because there's proof, because we were showing the camera, or showing you.
I think I am definitely not psychotic, so I saw it.
Yeah. So, kind of ridiculous that at the end of it, hopefully it was just a glitch, or hopefully it was just something, but whatever. But it was, and I ain't gonna even say it was more than what it was. It was literally two people that jumped in and watched for a good minute, and hats off to you guys. Hats off to you. You two are legends.
For interacting again, for sure.
We don't go into those lives really expecting like a bunch of people to be jumping in on them. We just doing them. At all. They're sometimes they're cooler. They're a cool way of doing it. You can see us for a minute. You get to see what we look like, our expressions on things, blah blah blah. And it's just a good time to interact with whoever, not fans, but fans of wrestling and whoever is out there that wants to interact. And we're always down.
You're making faces in my phone as if you're FaceTiming me right now.
But we haven't got time for people that want to chime in and talk when we go live and stuff like that. We might start doing watch parties, but whatever. We're gonna get into this.
We started the show with Seth freaking Rollins.
Yep.
He came out and he was very downtrodden. He was not his normal happy dancing self.
That's because he's injured list.
Yeah. So he said he was injured, so he's not fighting for his title. But he's going to come back at WrestleMania. And he felt disappointed because he can't be the workhorse champion that he said he was going to be, so he wanted to make that announcement. But he was still, I guess, going to hold the title because he didn't vacate it.
Yeah. And some people's got a problem with that. Because most of the time they would tell a man, you got to drop that belt. You know? Yeah. So, I mean, like, homie needs his belt taken. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why he doesn't have a match for his belt at Royal Rumble.
Yeah. But, yes, I'm going to throw on Dynamite while we are talking about Raw. But,
so, we got Gunther came out after Seth did his passionate speech. So, Seth Rollins elaborated on his future after suffering an injury last week. He was interrupted by Gunther, who threatened to challenge the Visionary at WrestleMania should he win the Royal Rumble. Yeah, that was a kind of emotional segment. My mom was asking if I thought it was real, and I was like, if Gunther doesn't attack him, then he's really injured. And Gunther never hit him. Like, they didn't knock him down.
Yeah. It wasn't one of those moments where it's like, oh, their storyline hurt, and we can knock them out safely because their storyline hurt. It's not like that sometimes, man. People really get hurt in this profession, and wrestling's not fake. So
it's just scripted.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm tearing up the script, and I'm trashing the format.
Okay, Jim Cornette.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Tear up the script and Tony scoring.
Yeah, Gunther mocked him and said, I'm going to attack your back. I'm going to attack your knee. I'm going to attack anything that's not 100%.
That is interesting right there going into the whole thing. That is in the whole everything with that. But, what was I going to say? Like, with the Raw going into the Royal Rumble, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
For the segment, the beginning segment and all that, to open you up. You're opening up to what's to come for the rest of the card of the Raw.
The next match, because Imperium came out with Gunther, was Imperium and the New Day.
Oh, well, I could see them wrestling soon. It's going to happen.
The transition, dude.
Oh, yeah. So, Biggie Langston is going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's another possibility. X-Pac. Oh,
New Day challenged Imperium, and that ended up in a no DQ match, dude.
Yeah.
Or not a no DQ match, but a double countout. They both got disqualified. Excuse me. The animosity between the New Day and Imperium boiled over as they fought to a no contest in tag team action, going to war with each other outside the ring. This was crazy, dude. There has been a whole month, 4 weeks of back and forth between Imperium and the New Day right now, between Kofi.
Yep. Both of them hurting each other and all that.
And Giovanni and Ludwig.
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos in between them guys.
It was nuts. And that match, they both, Kofi and Xavier took them off the equipment, whatever, it was either electrical equipment or something. They all stood up on top of that, and Kofi took them down and basically knocked them off the equipment into 2 tables. It was 4 guys landing on 2 tables.
I know I watched Raw. I've been telling my viewers that I swear I be watching these shows, dude.
It almost looked like a no DQ match, but it ended up in both of them getting counted out because it boiled over too much, and they actually didn't finish the match because they got a double count out because they beat each other up too much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a good shit. That was a good segment.
It may have only been like a minute or two,
Yeah.
but it felt like a long time.
Bam!
They beat the crap out of each other, dude.
Bam!
It was crazy.
And
JR would say it was a slobber knocker.
I'm watching Hook take out a bunch of guys.
That was crazy, dude.
Hook,
and then we had Ivy Nile versus Valhalla.
Oh yeah, boy, that was good.
And Ivy Nile came out with Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
In her corner as her valet, I guess, basically.
Why don't I remember this? I mean, I remember it, but
Diamond Mine Ivy Nile takes on the Mystifying Valhalla. That was a pretty decent match, but it was weird. Valhalla, you know, her gimmick, kind of like the Boogeyman, is odd to wrestle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the way she wrestles is weird.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to wrestle her appropriately.
Yeah.
But Ivy did as good as she could. It was a good match, though. But it said, underrated by Valhalla's energy, Ivy Nile muscled her way to an early advantage with Maxine Dupree at ringside. Valhalla could not use her devious tactics, and Nile caught her with the pit bull to seal the win. It was a pretty nice match. Like, I liked that match, but it was awkward to watch.
Yeah.
Like, Ivy was struggling, but not because she's not good, just because it was weird to try to wrestle Valhalla.
Yes, definitely. Just in general, just them. I don't know. Of course, they're gonna put Valhalla.
Then your girls, Becky and Bailey,
yeah,
and Nia had a segment.
Yeah.
I can't remember who. I think it was Becky who entered the ring first and was talking about winning the Royal Rumble, and then Nia came down and interrupted her and started talking about how she was going to win the Royal Rumble and throw Becky over the top easily or whatever. And then Bailey came down, or it was Becky and then Bailey and then Nia came. I think that's how it worked. I think Becky came down and started yapping about how she was going to win the Royal Rumble, and then Bailey came down after to interrupt and be a dick and get her heat. And so she interrupted Becky while she was out, and she started talking about how she was going to win the Royal Rumble. And then Nia Jax came down, and they all had a moment together. And that was pretty crazy. It was really cool to watch. Like, I'm sitting here thinking about it, remembering it from Tuesday night, because I watched it after as a recorded video.
Yeah.
So I could watch it earlier in the day. It was good. Like, I remember watching this segment, and Becky, Bailey, their energy was good. Nia makes things weird.
Yeah. She does.
I don't like her energy. Like, I mean, that's just me. And I don't like the way she wrestles. I mean, I've heard she hurts people, and then also that there is problems. And they talk about, it's funny because they talk about it in wrestling. Like, I heard Becky say, like, I know you hurt people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious right now? They said that?
Yeah. That's what she does.
They shoot like that for real? Like, damn.
Well, she hurts people. Like, She has and probably will again. Motherfucking Hangman Page and fucking Pentagon El Zero Minero or whatever his name is versus Hangman Page, bro.
That was a good segment, though. I remember Becky and Bayley, and then Nia came down, and they all brawled. And then Nia did her big lady moves. And I think Becky put Bayley in the manhandle slam.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty dope segment. And then we had Dirty Dom and The Miz.
Oh, yeah.
The Miz and Dirty Dom and the Judgment Day tried to fight, but then Miz lost. And they, like, the Judgment Day was having a beatdown contest on The Miz because Rhea had just had a segment earlier in the night with the Judgment Day, like just one of those backstage, like in their clubhouse segments.
Yeah.
And she acted like their mom, like for real. Like she was, it was so funny. She was like talking to all of them like they were children.
Yeah.
And she said, she was talking to Damien. She's like, I see you have a match with,
Poopy Britches Pants Boy.
Drew McIntyre later tonight. Like, because
that was the main event.
Their rivalry came to a head.
Yeah, that was the night of the main event.
Yeah.
They main event.
Yeah. And so Drew and Damien had their main event match, but Rhea was like, it seems like you just want to fight everybody now because you're out there fighting whatever. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. He made an excuse, and she was like, just go. Get out of my sight, blah, 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 whatever. And then she was like nagging him, and then she got on
She got on
Dom and JD about how they should have easily taken out DIY last week.
Yeah.
And talk shit about that. And then sent them off to prepare for their match. And then Ben was over there snickering in the corner. And she's like, what are you laughing at? You know, whatever. I need you to be the vicious Finn that I know. And so Finn went down there with JD and Dominic had a match with The Miz, and The Miz lost. And then the Judgment Day started beating down The Miz, and then Finn came in and mounted him and just started pounding into his face, dude. And,
yeah, he messed them up.
And then Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa came down to save The Miz.
Won?
No, The Miz didn't win. Dom won, but came down to save The Miz after the Judgment Day were trying to beat him down after the match.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We got Revolution March 4th, I believe.
Then we had Ivar and Chad Gable.
Ivar and Chad Gable.
And a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And Ivar and Chad Gable, that was a good match. Chad Gable, man, I like the Alpha Academy because I like Chad Gable, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Otis is funny, right? Akira Tozawa is funny. I like him for his nasty dance and all that. That's great. You know, I like the gimmick. And then Maxine, of course, is beautiful, and that's just, I mean, she's just a great addition to the team. And I think she's growing as a woman wrestler rather than just a pretty face, right?
Yeah, that's I think same.
And I like that, too. So that's good, too. And Ivar did win the match against Chad Gable, but Chad, man, he showed so much athleticism and so much ingenuity. Like, he couldn't do his roll-through German suplex like I told you he was going to do.
Yeah.
Because Ivar's just way too big, so he couldn't do the whole full roll-through.
That would have been cool.
Ivar came off for like a moonsault, I think, and Chad moved out of the way, so he got right behind Ivar after that, and then did his German suplex.
Yeah.
And then I think he did something else. I can't remember exactly what happened that made him fall off one of either the top rope or the middle ropes, and Chad Gable came up and attacked him again and did the German suplex again.
Yeah, he did.
Ivar still overpowered him eventually, but he was his athleticism is just, I love Chad Gable. Like, yeah. I loved Kurt Angle, and I like Chad Gable. And I think you said it best when you said Chad Gable should have been booked as Kurt Angle's son. Like,
yeah, and he should have been, of course he should have been, of course his career kind of mirrors it, so he should have gotten something with the whole Kurt thing, and he has. He's gotten his thing with Kurt finally, but he should have long before had that. I never understood why they gave it to Jason Jordan before they ever gave anything to Chad like that.
Right.
I thought that was pretty messed up. But you gave Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin everything with Kurt Angle. So. We could have had, like...
Maybe they didn't want Chad Gable to live in Angle's shadow.
We could have had Team Angle again.
With who? Chad Gable and who?
And Jason Jordan. That's when Jason Jordan was around. That's what I wanted. Alpha Academy. Or Alpha... Whatever they were called. American Alpha. With Kurt Angle is what I was wanting.
American Alpha with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Would have been dope, but we didn't get that jank, but we could have, should have, but didn't.
Then we had...
That is a little tiny little sword. Oh, I just saw this sword on Timo. That's a grinder.
CM Punk and Cody engaged in a frenetic back and forth. And Punk was very passionate about how he had told the late, great Dusty Rhodes that he would watch after Cody.
Yeah, that is.
In the independent promotions.
Yep. That is what happened.
And CM Punk said when the late great Dusty Rhodes asks you a favor, you do that favor.
Yes, totally. You have to.
And so they engaged in a really strong back and forth about how Cody was trying to live out from under his father's shadow.
Yeah.
And then CM Punk started talking about how he had a rich daddy in the business that knew everything, and he got to learn everything. He had basically a silver spoon in wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And Punk did not. He had to pull himself up by his bootstraps and train and grind and do and be, right?
Yeah.
But he became. So then Punk said, that makes me, because he had taken the cover off the mic. It had become a pipe bomb.
Yes.
And he said, that makes me more of the American dream than you. CM Punk said that to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, are you fucking kidding him?
That's brutal, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I mean, just none of it really matters. I mean, I don't know. It's just so much shit. It's horrible.
But then Cody fired back. It was dope. He came back and he found some way, ironically, to make himself more CM Punk than CM Punk.
Damn, yeah. This is such a good fucking thing, with them doing this on Raw, man. This is good, it's really, really good. Everything about it was good. Yeah, everything about it. It's dope. So, what else was we had? So we had that right there.
That, and then the next match was Shayna and Zoe, and Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and I think it was trying to figure out who would be the number one contender for the world titles, maybe.
Yeah. Probably so.
And they fought each other. And that was a good match. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell always look good.
Yeah.
I mean, they just look good. And then Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark took one step closer to the potential. They won the match as they took out Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Yeah. It was a good match.
Z360 on Candice LeRae. It didn't look very good, though. Like, it didn't look very impactful.
Yeah. And, yeah, it was...
It was sloppy. I told my dad when Zoe threw the Z360, the knee did not, look like it connected at all. Like, she threw it, and it didn't look like she hit at all.
Yeah.
And then she, Indy took the bump and got up real tall. Or no, Candice LeRae took the bump and stood up as tall as she could because she's tiny. And then didn't fall. And then Zoe pushed her over and she fell. And then Zoe pinned her and won the match. But it looked like they shouldn't have won. And then Damage Control came out and attacked the tag team champions.
Yeah.
And Adam Pearce there was a segment with Adam Pearce. Shit, I can't remember exactly what happened backstage with the women, I think, in the tag team championships. But anyway, and then Kofi challenged, or said he was going to challenge Gunther because they had already gone through the tag team Imperium because they had beat the crap out of them. And they were like, we're done with them. Like, I'm going to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And then
That'll work.
Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest. That was a crazy match. And it ended, I forget this. So R-Truth, Damian had gotten pissed off by Rhea earlier in the night. He was given an interview backstage with one of the backstage interviewers, and R-Truth came up and he was like, Damian, I want to give you your cut of the money from the shirts that I've been selling, you know?
This happened again?
And he did it in the middle of an interview, and Damian was like, not right now, Truth. I'm trying to prepare for my match and do this interview. Can we talk later? And Truth was like, now's not a good time. And so he winked at him real big, you know, like he does.
Yeah.
And he left, right?
Yeah.
So during the Drew McIntyre match and Damian Priest match, this was a good match. Like, all the way through, it was hard-hitting, really good, like, high-level, like, pay-per-view quality because they didn't get to go on the pay-per-view. Like, a good match for what time they had, right?
Yeah. That's what it was.
It was what you expected it to be, what it should have been, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But Truth came down in the middle of the match trying to give Damian his money. So he was going to put it in the briefcase for the Money in the Bank. So the Money in the Bank briefcase was laying on the announce table, and he went and squatted down by the announce table to put it in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And there was apparently a combination lock on the briefcase for the Money in the Bank contract. And so Truth is like, "What's the password?" And like screaming it out loud while Damian's trying to fight Drew. Like, it was ridiculous. And then he ran to the side of the ring and like jumped and hooped and hollered and waved and tried to get Damian's attention. And he's like, "What's the password on the briefcase?" It was fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, R-Truth is hilarious. And then Damian got distracted and Drew kicked him, and then Drew punched Drew punched R-Truth. The money went flying. Damian got distracted, started yelling at Truth, and then Drew came around, had enough time to recuperate because Damian didn't pin him after he had gotten him beat down. Drew came around and Claymore kicked Damian and capitalized and won on the distraction by R-Truth.
Yeah, that's insane.
Hilarious.
Yeah, pretty insane, you know.
R-Truth is great, dude. I love it.
I love R-Truth a lot. I met him one time. He's a nice guy in real life. He's one of the best people to meet in real life if you're trying to meet somebody that's legit and genuine. That's R-Truth. He's a really cool guy.
Ron Killings.
Yeah, so I mean, what it is, dude. So what's up, dog? So you gotta do the damn thing sometimes, and you gotta just do what you gotta do sometimes, you know? And he does that, and he does it the best, and he's the best in the motherfucking world with it do that, bro.
That's his gimmick, and his silly wrestling gimmick, his comedy. Some people would say that funny wrestling is not the way to go, but his character, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
It makes me laugh, and I love it. Especially, there's so much drama throughout all of wrestling. To have some comedic relief is nice. Like, you get Akira Tozawa, who has his nasty dance, and I laugh at that. And then you got R-Truth, who has his silly, just insanity, just delusional craziness, and I love it.
Yeah, you got a lot of good stuff in there with the whole thing. There's a lot going on, and Jim Cornette's often said that R-Truth is good at what he does, and he doesn't really talk nothing bad about R-Truth. So,
wow, I'm surprised.
He doesn't really say anything bad about him because he's an NWA World Champion, you know. Like, that's what I think. Maybe that's why, but only 6 of these left to get a treasure, so I gotta do this again, dog. But yeah.
With that gimmick, he was the NWA World Champion?
No, he's NWA Champion just a long time ago, back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. But yeah, so I mean, just the lead up to Royal Rumble, you know, seems like the Royal Rumble is going to be really good. So
it just doesn't seem like there's going to be much on the card, dude.
No, I mean, of course not, because the Royal Rumbles take a lot. It's going to be a lot. There's a lot to it.
I feel like Royal Rumble is a bigger deal than it seems like it is.
There's like 2 hours long right there, dog. So I don't really know, man.
I mean, that's like 3-hour pay-per-view, so maybe we won't miss anything, dude.
Yeah.
If it's, at pre-show. So pre-show starts at 7.
Right.
Show starts at 8. 8, it would still be 11. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. So maybe not. So I don't know. But I'll just say all is well in chicken grease. So and only you can prevent forest fires and stuff. So
Sorry, dude.
don't. All right,
This
dude.
has been the Joe Cool part of the Monday Night Raw podcast for the weekly review.
No, it hasn't. Anyway, so is that all that happened? Are you
that's
sure
the end
that's
of
all
Monday
that
Night Raw.
happened?
That's the end of Monday Night Raw. That was the main event. Drew and Damian.
We ain't gonna talk about NXT.
I don't know anything about, like, I actually did most of that from memory. I just had the card to jog my memory. But I remembered all of that because it was just a really great episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it was good.
I really enjoyed it.
Royal Rumble. So, really, really good.
But I gotta go to bed.
Alright, man, whatever.
Good night, y'all. This has been the High as Fuck podcast portion with Joe Cool of the weekly review.
And your boy Matt Jackson.
And Matt will continue with you. We are not out like Elvis Presley. We are just out for the moment.
Yep. Out for right now, and I'll be right back with you sooner than later.